Here, like.
Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome. Come on in. Come into our Zoom room. It's good to see you. Let me know, where is everybody from? I always like to know who I'm talking to. So if you want to go into the chat box and let me know where you're from, that would be great. Okay. Oh, Texas. Tyler. Tyler, Texas Roses, right? Okay, all right. Georgia, a lot of Georgia, Maryland, ooh, San Francisco, Florida, California. I'm in California right now as well. So welcome, California. Queens, I'm from New York. I live there too. Oh, Alaska, wow, that's great. New Jersey, Missouri, Maryland, San Francisco, Virginia Beach, LA. So nice to see everybody. Thank you for being here. Cleveland. What? Sri Lanka? That's so far away. Welcome. Brooklyn. My daughter's in Brooklyn. Marietta, Georgia. Columbus, Ohio. So nice to see everybody. Queens. Welcome, Queens. Okay, we're going to get started in just a minute. Okay, Iowa, Virginia, New York. Oh my goodness, you guys are from all over. New Jersey. That's great. All right, well, we'll get started in just a minute. I just want to give people a little bit of time to get on. I have a lot to cover today. So I just want to give you guys a chance to log on and join us from the beginning. Okay. As I'm speaking, what I just wanted to tell you, if you have questions, there's a Q&A box on the bottom, and you can click it and put your questions in the Q&A box. At the end of the presentation, I will go to the Q&A box and answer everybody's questions, okay? So if you'll do that, that would be great. I would appreciate it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started because I really have a lot to cover. There's so much on this topic. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me make this as big as I can. I just want to make it even bigger. There we go, so you can see it. Okay, so today what we're going to talk about is we're going to be talking about SCAT, the SCAT test, and we're going to talk about some of the other tests, but at the same time, what I want to do is talk about the different talent search programs that we have all over the country. There are some wonderful, wonderful talent search programs and that are affiliated with a number of universities that your children can join. Some, I mean, even as young as 3 or 4, believe it or not. Others start at high school. So we're going to talk about those. And I also wanted to let you know that if you would like a copy of this presentation in about a day or 2, you can go to, it takes about 24 hours, I think, go to testingmom.com/classes. And at the very top, there will be something called Most Recent Classes Online. And this presentation will be there. You can download it and you can watch it again if you want to. Or if you didn't, if you know, someone in your family didn't get to see the whole thing, you can watch it again. And then after some time passes, you'll find it under testingmom.com/classes testing. That's where you'll find it. Okay, so maybe write that down so you can go back there when this is all over. So the programs we're going to talk about tonight, my focus for a lot of this is going to be the Johns Hopkins Center for Talented Youth. And that's probably the one that's been around the longest, and it's a very big program, very well-known program. But there's 2 other programs that are very, very good. They've been around as well for a long time, and I'm going to tell you about those. That's Northwestern Center for Talented Development and Duke University Talented Identification Program, the TIP program. The other thing I'm going to tell you a little bit about are the summer programs. That this would be more for your high schoolers, but there are high school programs at Harvard, Brown, Stanford, Cornell, NYU, all the top universities, and I'm going to tell you about that as well. Okay, so let's get started because we do have a lot to cover. And as I said, I'm going to focus a lot on the Johns Hopkins Center for Talented Youth, but these two programs here, Northwestern and Duke, are very much like the Center for Talented Youth program. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about this program will really be applicable to those other programs as well. So just to give you a little bit of background, this program was started in 1979. It is extremely prestigious. They serve about 30,000 students annually, literally kindergartners to 12th graders. And through the years, over 1.5 million kids have participated. It is a highly selective program. It's very prestigious. I would say, you know, it's something that is very good to have on a college resume. It's recognition from someone else beyond your own school, that your child is gifted, that your child is accomplished, and that there's somebody that goes the extra mile. The program gives out every year different awards and medals for a number of different accomplishments at their end of year ceremonies. And the highest scoring students on tests can be part of their SCT program, which is for what they call their exceptionally talented youth. And those kids get some extra benefits such as counseling for college. They're up for certain scholarships, that sort of thing. So there's a benefit to being in this program as well if they score very well. And the thing about being in this program is your child can participate in their summer program. Up until this last year, it's always been a residential program, so you go there for it. And they even have a family program. Your whole family can go there. But they also have online programs all year round, and they have their family academic program. This year, the residential program they didn't do because of the pandemic, but we're hoping that by next year they might be able to do it again. There are minimum scores required for entry. We're going to talk about that. And this is the URL to go there. You can look it up. And so what I just wanted to say here, oh, my dog is wants to participate. Come here, Rocco. Okay, so we're gonna have a dog in the picture for a little while. Okay, so anyways, you don't have to take notes because you'll be able to download this presentation. So don't worry about taking notes, but I do give you a number of different URLs. Now, I just want to say it is very cool to be gifted, and it is very cool to be hardworking and bright. And if you look at all these people, this is Lady Gaga, Mark Zuckerberg, this is Sergey Brin, who's the founder of Google, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote Hamilton, so talented, Ronan Farrow, and this young lady, Ivana Lynch, she played Luna Lovegood in the Harry Potter movies. And this is Terrence Tao. He's a famous mathematician. And the thing that they all have in common is that they were part of the Johns Hopkins Center for Talented Youth program when they were young. So they've all gone on to do very wonderful, amazing things in their fields of interest. So who is this program for? And remember, when I talk about this program, I'm really also, this is all true for the Northwestern program as well and for the Duke program. This is a program for students who just need more intellectual challenge than perhaps they're receiving at school right now. They're students who are capable of working at higher levels in subjects that they really love. They want to explore subjects that aren't necessarily available at the schools they go to, Maybe they need flexible learning options. Maybe right now, I know a lot of us need flexible learning options right now. And if your child was in the Center for Talented Youth program, they would be eligible to take classes taught by these wonderful professors for their age group online at the Center for Talented Youth. So this is something your kids could do now if they need some flexible learning options. They look for kids who are very achievement oriented and kids who aspire to go to the top universities, who want challenge in their life, who hope to have very intellectually stimulating careers. These are for high achieving kids. And I suspect that describes many of your kids, or you would not be here tonight. Okay, so let's see, someone asked if you're all on mute, and the answer is yes, you are. But later we will have questions. Okay, so here, I know this is gonna be hard for you to see. We are asking you some questions, by the way. We're doing some surveys, and we'd appreciate it if you'd fill them out. Because one of the things we want to know from you is if you have any interest in a small group class to get ready for the SCAT test. And if you are, let us know, because we're going to set some up for you if you want them, if you're interested. But anyway, okay, so you can't read these. It's hard to read, but I'm going to tell you about what's on this page. And this is something you can find at the Johns Hopkins website. These are about their awesome CTY students. And some of these people are still students. Some of them have graduated and they've gone on to do other things. But you'll find this on their website. And I would say that students who participate in this program are kids who are really going places in so many ways. Even some of these kids they're inventors, they own patents. This is a third grader right here who has a patent. He invented a wearable device that detects some allergies, that detects things that your kids can be allergic to. These kids participate in amazing internships. They are winners of like Google, Intel, or different science competitions and talent search winners. They've been published as authors, poets. They work at newspapers and actually get to report. Some of them founded their own nonprofits. They get scholarships for college. They are math prize winners. And there's even at least one that I found that has gotten a MacArthur Genius Grant. Now, does that mean every single student who goes there, it needs to be a genius? No, they're looking for very, very bright, accomplishment-oriented students. But if your child participates in this program, they will be surrounded by some other very, bright young minds, which of course, what they say is a rising tide raises all boats. See, I'm not even sure of the exact saying, but the point is if you're surrounded by very, very bright kids, it motivates you and it gets you excited about learning. And I think all the kids who participate in this program are kids who are very excited about learning. So let's talk about how to get in to this program. And the other programs also have, there's their registration process that you can find at the website, but I'm going to focus on Center for Talented Youth. You go to their website, here's the link for it. So when you get this presentation, you can go there if you want. It's a $45 fee. If you want your child to participate in this summer program this year, you want to make sure they take the test by June 30th, but you've got until then for the summer program. If they qualify now, they can take any of their online classes. Those happen year round. And the testing fee ranges anywhere from $38 to $75. There are need-based scholarships available to take the test and even to take some of the classes. So you can apply for that if you'd like to. Right now, they are giving the SCAT test online. After you apply to the Center for Talented Youth, they give you information about how to arrange to do this. During the rest, when times are normal, there are actually testing centers that you can go to and your child can take the test. There's also, I'm going to talk to you about these tests, but there's also what they call the Spatial Test Battery for 5th graders and above. And this, up until now, has only been available at a testing center, but by the end of this year, you'll be able to take that test online as well. And once you qualify, once you get in, you do not need to ever test again. So you're in once and you're in forever. So that's great. Okay, so what is this program like? As I mentioned, you know, there's an amazing summer program and you can go on their website and learn about it. But also they have over 300 online courses taught by their professors as well. And some of them are like on demand, and so you can just take them anytime. Others are live. You have to be there at a specific time and you participate with the same group of kids. They have programs in every arena, you know, reading, writing, math, language, history, coding, AP classes, honors classes. There's a number of things that your child can take. It's almost like a college, you know, list of classes, but it's designed for kids, younger kids. Now, if you qualify when you take the SCAT test, if you qualify with your math score or your spatial score, then you will be able to take math, science, and computer classes, all the STEM classes. If you qualify with your ELA scores, that's the verbal analogy part of the test, then you can take any of their humanities classes. So you don't have to qualify in both areas. You can qualify in one or the other, and then you're just limited to in terms of which classes you take. Okay, so how much does it cost? What is the tuition? That sort of thing. So this slide kind of tells you the cost to apply, $45. Taking the SCAT test is $60. For older students, they can take the PSAT or the ACT. And this is the spatial test is right here. Something that's very interesting, if you have a child who's in kindergarten to 1st grade, they can qualify if they've taken the WISC, the WIPSI, the Stanford-Binet, the Woodcock-Johnson, or the COGAT. So I know a lot of you have kids who take those classes or take those tests when they're young. And if you happen to have a score for a young child that maybe they took for a gifted program at their school, you can send that to them, and that can get a younger child into the program. Older students take, as I said, the PSAT, SAT, and ACT to get in. I believe right now it's very difficult to take these tests. I know I have a friend whose child wanted to take it here in California, where I am right now, and the closest place that they could take it right now was in Colorado. So these are hard to get, but the SCAT can be taken online. So you're set, it's not a problem. They can do it right here from the comfort of their own home. Now, if they get in, they would have to pay for the class, and the prices vary. So when you go on the website, you will see what the different prices are. The online classes are actually not terribly expensive. It's more the residential programs that are more expensive, but these are just some of the prices. Now, you can take the SCAT test twice a year to try to qualify. And the reason people will take it more than once is maybe their child didn't qualify the first time, or maybe they qualified for math but not ELA and they want to qualify for everything. Perhaps they want to qualify for the SET program, which is their highest level of being a member of their program. Those are the kids with the highest scores. And, you know, some people just do it every year kind of to track their child's growth. So there's a lot of reasons people take it more than once, but you can take it twice a year, both tests, both the math, the ELA, and the spatial test could be taken twice a year. Now, in terms of qualifying scores, I took these pictures from a website that CTY did earlier this year, and they actually did not give the scores past 9th grade, but I do know that students can test through grade 12. They just didn't have them up, but I took a screenshot of them so you can kind of see the scores they're looking for, and you can go back and look at this when you download this presentation, but they are looking for pretty high scores on these tests. Okay, so what is the test like? And I'm trying to move pretty fast because I want to cover a lot, and then I want to go to your questions as well. The test itself, as we said, they are offering remote testing, and this is the best way to qualify during the pandemic. So what you want to do is apply, and as soon as you apply, they will give you information on how to take the test online, okay? Now there's 3 levels of the test. If your child is in 2nd or 3rd grade, they're going to take the elementary version. If your child is in grades 4 or 5, they'll take the intermediate, and grade 6 and above will take the advanced SCAT. Now it is an above grade level test, so you're going to find that the questions are a little bit harder than what you would expect a 2nd or 3rd grader to be able to do, or a 4th or 5th grader, or a 6th grader. So it is an above grade level test, but this is the levels that they would take. So if you have like a 5th grader, let's say, I would say this would be a good year to try to do this because the test gets harder in 6th grade. So you want to be nice to get it done by the time they're in 5th grade. There's 2 sections. There's a verbal and a quantitative section. Each one has 55 questions. 5 of them don't count, kind of like the SAT. They always have those experimental questions. The test is timed. The student has 22 minutes. They get a 10-minute break in between the 2 parts of the test, and it takes about 10 days, 7 to 10 days to get results. And as we said before, you do not have to qualify in both categories to qualify for the program. You know, if you qualify in the quantitative area, you'll take the math, science, and computer classes, verbal, all the humanities classes, which include, you know, literature, writing, that sort of thing, okay? All right, so let me just show you a little bit about what the test is like. Okay, the quantitative part, it measures mathematical reasoning. Some of the questions don't even require computation, and I'll show you in a second. Multiple choice, and it's a comparison. So what happens is they have to make a choice here. So for example, we're going to take 1/2 hour, 30 minutes. And this is for the grade 2-3. They choose A if column A is greater than column B. They choose B if column B is greater, and they choose C if they're equal. And in this case, they are equal. So C would be the answer. But there could be some computation. As you can see, these are computational questions. And there's 2 layers of skill needed here. Okay, first they need to have very strong math skills. Then they need to have the thinking skills because they're going to have to compare the answers. And you can actually go here and put this URL into your computer, and there is a practice test there. So you can actually do a short practice test. For older students, the only difference, very similar to what we just talked about, there's A, B, and C. But for 4th grade and above, there's also a D. And that you choose D if there's not enough information given for you to decide on the answer. So it's exactly the same except for that. And then of course the math gets harder, and it is an above grade level test. So some of the questions may be a little harder than maybe what your child is learning at school. That it's possible. So expect that on the test. Now, what are the analogies like? This is the ELA portion of the test. Here, just you know what these are. The kids have to figure out, we'll start with some easy ones, right? The kids have to figure out which one of these analogies are the same. Okay, so shoe is to foot, as glove is to hand, as coat is to hat, buckle is to belt, or eye is to face. And I would say, obviously, A is the answer, because shoe, a foot is something you put in a glove, a hand is something you put, I'm sorry, a foot is something you put in a shoe, sorry about that, and a hand is something you put in a glove. And none of the others have that same analogy. And then on this one, moon is to evening, as comet is to night, rain is to dusk, fall is to rain, sun is to morning. The answer is D. So we see the moon in the evening. This is a hard one, because you might see a comet at night, although you wouldn't see it every night. You would see the sun in the morning, and you would see it every day. So I would say, so that's probably why D is the answer. And why, when these get hard, it's often because there's one other question or one other answer choice that you think, well, that could be it, but there's often a better answer. And in this case, sun and morning is the better answer. So again, these require knowledge of vocabulary, and they also require thinking and reasoning skills to do well on this. Okay, so the spatial battery tests. This is another test a child can take to qualify for this program. It is in place of the SCAT. So this is for students who are just really very good at visual spatial reasoning. They're people who can visualize how objects might look from different angles. Maybe your child easily remembers faces or designs or interesting objects. Perhaps they're a visual learner. They like graphic display over text, that kind of thing. There are 5 parts to this test. 5 different types of visual questions. To me, this is a very hard test, but I'm not very visual myself. Currently, up until now, it has only been available at the testing centers, but by the end of this year, they say they're going to have it online. And if your child takes this part of the test, to qualify, then they can take math, science, and computer classes. And we do on our website have practice for this test. So don't worry if you have a very spatially oriented student, we do have practice for it. Just to give you one example of one type of question, and remember there's 5 subtests. One is that they are given like more than this number of shapes, but maybe they're given, I don't know, 20 shapes that they have to look at for a little while. They have several minutes to look at it and try to memorize the shapes, okay, and where the black part is in the shapes. Then they go on to take part 2, 3, and 4 of the test, and then the last thing they do after about 30 minutes, and they've taken 4 other subtests, they're going to see a question like this, and they have to choose which one was one of the shapes they memorized. So in this case, the answer is C. I guess I should have put the circle down here, really. Yeah, well, I did. Oh, well. Oh, well, it's this. And because you can see it's the same as that, and you can see it's the same as that. But they don't get this for 30 minutes, so they have to remember it. It's very, very hard test, but if you're really spatially oriented, it's something you'll be able to do. Okay. So here are some contacts, places you can go to learn more. about this program. And when you download this presentation, you'll be able to just, if you want to call them and ask them questions, you can. So just, you know, feel free to follow up on that. It's quite an amazing program, wonderful program. I want to tell you a little bit about the Duke program as well, and we'll also talk about the Northwestern. This program serves 450,000 4th to 12th graders. So it's not serving the super young kids, but it's 4th to 12th grade. Every year they identify 100,000 students to participate. And just like the program we were just looking at Johns Hopkins, they do have online classes. They do have summer residential programs, weekend programs. They give college scholarships, just like Johns Hopkins does as well. So it's a very similar program. It's just affiliated with Duke University. And it costs $50 to sign up to join. And then you do have to pay the tuition for the different programs you sign up for. Now, I'm going to go over how to qualify in 1 second, but who are they looking for? Very similar to what we just saw with the Johns Hopkins program, but they're looking for students that can do their grade level coursework without much effort, that can perform, I guess let me fix that. That can perform academic tasks typically associated with older students. They work very well on their homework or their schoolwork in very demanding classes. They're students who just have a need for additional academic challenges. So, you know, if you have a student like this, just, you know, you're hardworking, very bright student, and I can think of many families at Testing Mom who have students like this, you know, this could be a good program for them. And what's interesting about this particular program is if you do have your child, let's say, take the SCAT test, they will accept the SCAT test scores to qualify for this program. So if you take the SCAT, you can submit that, okay? But you can submit other scores. So let's say over the past 2 years, your child has scored in the 95th percentile on a state test, or perhaps they've taken a test for a gifted program at your school. Maybe they took the COGAT, the NNAT, the OLSAT, you know, the WISC, any of these tests here, if they've taken them within the last 2 years, they would accept a score in the 95th percentile or above. So this is within the last 2 years. So you may have a child who already can qualify for this program. But if not, if you decide to do SCAT for the Johns Hopkins program, you can plan to use those scores for both programs. And you can go right here to look this all up and learn more about this program, okay? And then the other program that I want to tell you about is Northwestern Center for Talented Development. Now this program serves students ages, they actually serve, I believe, ages 3. But your child is usually about 4 when they take their very first test, but you might even be able to, I'm not sure. I think it was, there may have even taken some 3-year-olds, but very young children can get into this. They've worked with over 600,000 families since '82. It costs $45 to join plus the tuitions. And just like the other programs, right now, no in-person classes, but they do have over 100 self-paced classes that are online or live classes that are online. And with this program, they have 3 tiers of courses, and they require different test scores to qualify. So they have their Emerald level courses, and if your student makes the 90th percentile or above, they could participate in their Emerald level courses. Their Magenta level courses require 95th percentile or above. And the indigo tier, there may be some different testing that takes place for the indigo tier, because this is to get in, I believe this is to get into their advanced placement classes. But you can go online and read about it. And the interesting thing about this program as well, is if you do take the SCAT test, they will accept those scores. So if you don't have any other scores and you say, okay, right now it's hard to get a test because of COVID, but we can do the SCAT test online, you can use this to get into this program as well. And they also will take tests such as the KTA, EA, KBIT, the MAP test. And actually, through this program, you can get remote MAP testing. So many of you may know the MAP test because it's given in many schools to see where your child is academically. So possibly they're giving it in your school right now, I don't know. But if not, you can arrange for remote MAP testing if you sign up through them. But also they'll take the COGAT, the CTP, the IC, some different tests as well, all of which at Testing Mom we can help you prepare for, including the MAP test. We can help you prepare for all of these. And we do tutoring for PSAT, SAT, and ACT as well. So, you know, we can help you with all of this if you need it. But what I would say is just go to their website and explore and see if it's a program that you think would be of interest to your child. Okay, so let me talk a little bit more about other programs. This is a list of some of the best programs for college students that do cater to gifted or really motivated, high achieving students. They have them at these universities, and you can see these are some of the best universities: Brown, Harvard, Stanford, Cornell. Traditionally, these have been summer programs where your child would go in the summer for like at least 2 weeks, maybe longer, and study with a group of just like-minded, you know, bright other students. Now, of course, with the pandemic, I'm sure they're doing all online, but as soon as they can, they'll go back to you know, live programs. And so what I want you to do, if you're interested in this is really for high school students, but this is the link. Go there and you can read about each program in the summer. And this also, this piece gives you a link to each of these programs. So you can explore what they're all about and see if it's something that would be of interest to your child. And with these, in some cases, your child would have to qualify. In other cases, they would not. So every one of these programs is different. And of course, we don't have time to go through every one of these, but I wanted you to know about them so you can explore them for a possible summer program for your child. Okay, so how can we help you? A number of ways. First of all, go on the Testing Mom website, and all you have to do is choose Test Prep, view all tests. And what you do is you'll get all the different tests that come up that we can help you prepare for. This is where you'll find the SCAT test for Johns Hopkins. If you want your child to take the spatial battery, we do have that right here. And I circled the COGAT because there are a lot of analogies, verbal analogies here. So if you want to do more verbal analogies, go over here. They're there. Also, you get Study Island with our program, so just know that in Study Island, there's more analogies there as well. And then we do have practice for all the tests that all of the other programs accept as well. Like we were talking about MAP testing, we have that. We have IC, WISC, all the state tests. I mean, whatever you need, we've got them. So your child can practice and get ready for the test before they take it. Now, the other thing I want to point out is on our website, one of the things you do get is you get access to all of these learning programs. This is part of your membership. So if your child needs to do some extra practice, let's say in math, you can go to Dreambox, Smart Math, you can go to Manga High, which is math, Moby Max, which is math, Woot Max, which is fractions and decimals. All of these programs we have, and your child can work on their math. And as I mentioned, Study Island has a lot of analogies over there as well. Big Universe has a lot of vocabulary. So these are all programs you get with your membership. And if you want to work on the skills, come over here. It's our Skill Building Academy section. It's right here, Skill Building Academy. And that'll get you to here, and you've got access to all these programs. It's free with your membership. There's no extra charge on this. And the other thing I just want to point out to you, on the page that I'm telling you to go to download this presentation, we have a lot of webinars that we've done. And one of the ones I did was something called The Secrets to Solving Analogy Questions, Part 1, Verbal Analogies. So I did a whole hour on solving verbal analogies. So this is something either you can watch if you want to teach analogies to your child, or your child can watch it. And so you can find that here. And then these flashcards we have for COGAT have a lot of analogies in them as well. So I want to just point that out to you. And now what I want to do is also talk to you about the one-to-one online tutoring. And I'm going to invite Ivan, who talks to parents all the time about on our tutoring and our small group classes. And we would like to, where are you? Are you coming?
I am here. Hi, Karen. Hello.
Okay, I don't see your, oh, okay, there you are. Sorry, I somehow got rid of my picture by accident, and I don't know how to get it back.
That's
so
okay.
I'm glad that other people can see you.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm just here
Okay.
just to put a face to the voice, you know, because I
Okay.
know I've spoken to so many of you parents before, but if I haven't spoken to you yet, I really hope we get a chance to, because we are really doing a lot of amazing things here at Testing Mom. So if you're looking for help, whether it's in, like she just mentioned, the one-on-one tutoring program, which has helped a lot of children really get into these prestigious programs, because really comes down to the tutor who are from these prestigious programs themselves. I mean, really, they have master's degrees and PhDs, and they really do understand these tests. So, also we have these group classes coming up starting next week, which will be taking place right after school. So if you're looking for something that will, stimulate the kids during the week, for multiple days, it's something that'll be really, really great as well. That'll be coming up. So look out for that. So I really hope to talk to you at some point really, really soon. That's my email address right there, ivan@testingmom.com, and that number. So if you want to talk, it's a quick 15-minute phone call. We really get to talk about your favorite subject, and that's your child. And I do hope to talk to you sometime soon.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And if you have an interest in doing a small group class with us, you can certainly write in the chat box, let us know if you are interested in that, and what a good time for you would be to have a class like that, because I know a lot of your kids are in school, and so if you would be interested in that, just let us know. Put it in the chat box, let us know, and we'll make sure that we get in touch with you. So just let us know about that, okay? Okay, so some of your questions I would like to answer. Okay, Rashawn, what to do after the child clears the test? I'm not sure what you mean by that. After they take the test, what do you do? After you take the test, if you take the SCAT test, for example, you'll find out in 7 to 10 days whether your child passed or qualified, and what did they qualify for. And at that point, you would be able to let's say you signed up for it through Johns Hopkins, then you would be able to enroll your child in some of their classes. And what you would also be able to do is if you had your SCAT scores, if you wanted to also qualify them for the Duke program or the Northwestern program, you could apply and submit their scores, their SCAT scores, to qualify them for those programs as well. Now that would be a lot of programs to be part of, but you could actually choose a class from one, a class from another as well. Okay, so someone wants to know, is this an on-campus program? They do have an on-campus program. The three that I was telling you about that are the bigger ones that will take younger kids, they do usually. This summer, I don't think any of them actually ran it. They really worked with kids online this summer, but hopefully by next summer they'll be, we'll be able to have in-person classes. But remember, once they get in, they're in for forever. So, during the pandemic, they may not be able to participate in an in-person class, but later they will be able to. Is SCAT specific to Johns Hopkins? Is it different from the SAT? Yes, it is specific to Johns Hopkins, and it is different from the SAT. I was showing you what it was like earlier. And if you're a Testing Mom member, just go into our SCAT section and you can just look at what the questions are like, or go to the Johns Hopkins website. And as I mentioned, you can actually take your child can take a practice test. So you can get a sense of it there as well. Can the child in SCAT qualify? I think what you're asking is, can they qualify for both math and ELA? And the answer is yes. And probably most kids do, but some kids are just really strong in math or really strong in language, and so they're going to do one or the other. But yes, you could qualify for both, as a matter of fact. Yes, SCAT is specific to Johns Hopkins, and it is different from the SAT, but it is a test that all of these talent search programs, the big ones, will accept. Are these programs tests available for 10th graders? Yes, it can be. A 10th grader would take the advanced SCAT test. What is the cost of classes for the program? I think I had a slide on that to give you just a sense of it. Let me see, I'll go back and find that. Just give me 1 second. Right here, I think it varies from, here, it's expensive in the summer. If it's a 3-week session, could be as much as $5,000, $4,700, but they do have scholarships. Or if you go by it for the day, it's $2,600, or the online programs just depend on how long the program goes on. So, and remember, they have scholarships, so that's also possible. The spatial test, if you're a Testing Mom member, go right into, go here. And you can go right into here, and you can look at every type of question that's on it. You can also go to, because I didn't show you every one this time, only because it would take too much time and I wanted to make sure we had time for your questions. But if you just go here, you will just go to their site, and they have the spatial battery example questions there as well. So that's all you have to do is go to their site, and you can see them, all the types as well. It's a very hard, to me it seems very hard, because personally I'm not really very spatially oriented. That's just me. But there are children who are just super spatially oriented. They're just so good at that, and they have great visual memories. They can do very well on that part of the test. And we do have as I said, practice for that. Okay, so let's see. My son is in 7th grade. He's 10 years old. Should he wait till 8th grade to take it or take it now? Oh, I would take it now. There's no reason to wait. And if he's 10, it's interesting. So he's actually, it sounds like he's above grade level. Is he above his grade? But I would just go, there's no reason to wait. I would say go ahead and take it. And I would ask them if he's a younger child in an above grade level class, what test they would want him to take exactly. But yeah, why not? Oh, here's someone. Okay, we already qualified for CTY. Do we need to take another test for Duke, or can we transfer the results? You know, I believe you can transfer your results if you took them within the last, you double check. I know with Northwestern, they allow you to go back 2 years. I don't know about Duke. Let me see, did I write that? Oh yes, Duke says over the past 2 years. So if you have the scores and they're within the last 2 years and they're 95th percentile or above, I believe you'll be able to transfer those and he'll be able to qualify not only for Duke, but even Northwestern. Now here you're saying your child tested into the GATE program at his school in the 4th grade. Now he's in 6th grade. Can we use that score to enroll, or does he have to take the SCAT? Okay, for this child, if he got into the GATE program within the last 2 years, and he took the test within the last 2 years, and I don't know which test exactly he took because California GATE gives a number of different tests, but often it's the OLSAT, and you can see here they take the OLSAT, they accept it. If he took it within the last 2 years from the time you apply, you may be able to just give them those scores if it's 95th percentile or above. And then for Northwestern, I don't know, looks like well, it depends again, if they gave them the COGAT, it's possible within the last 2 years, but double check. For Northwestern, I think they will give you, look at test scores within the last 2 years. So see if that's what your child took. So it is possible. When it comes to getting into the program, the Johns Hopkins program, I believe they will need probably need the SCAT test, but you can call them and ask, if they'll accept any other tests. I just don't remember seeing that. Let me see let me double check that. Because I did look, let's see, I don't believe they will take, I don't believe, but I could be wrong. So I would just tell you to double check, call them, ask them. And it has to be within the last 2 years. Do they take age into consideration? We have a 17-month age range in my daughter's class. I think that for the SCAT test, the way it is set up right now, it's based on your grade level. So whatever grade level she is in, that would sort of determine which grade. So if she's in grade 2 or 3, they'll give the elementary test. If she's in grade 4 or 5, the intermediate test. Again, call them and double check if, maybe she's very, very young, but she's, she happens to be in 4th grade, but she's the youngest child in the class. Maybe she's more the age of a 3rd grader. You can always call and ask, but this is the way they describe that this is it. What did you just say about a younger child, getting a younger child into the CTY if you have an older one in the program? They don't have a sibling policy. There is no so the younger child would also have to qualify on their own. Is there a limited time a student can take the SCAT test? when you say a limited time, no, they give it all year round. The only limitation is that if you want them to be in the summer program, which is the program that which is in person, if you want them to participate in the summer program, and that's their biggest time when they do classes, the test needs to have be done by the 30th of June. Okay, if your child's in first grade, yes, he can take an IQ test. Yes, if you have a first grader, wait a minute. That was, I believe, for, let me just go back to this for a minute. Sorry. Oops, where did I have that? I'm so sorry. Okay, but I just want to make sure because this time I talked about more than one, I talked about more than one program. So I sometimes get them a little confused as to which test goes with, which tests go for which child, how old the kids need to be. Wait a minute, there were some, yes, and I just can't remember now. Okay, Duke, no, it was this one. Okay, this one will accept IQ tests, and I do believe as well, and you have to just, again, maybe call them to double check. I do believe that you can also give a WIPSI or a WISC or an IQ test, I believe, for Johns Hopkins as well for a younger child. So just contact them to check on that. I don't think the SCAT test would be appropriate for most first graders. It depends on the child, but okay. Let's see what else. If someone's asking me about the scoring, and I think you need to call them and ask them that I can't really speak to because I don't have their scoring matrices. What level of preparation is needed for a child who just started 6th grade, as she is expected to take the advanced SCAT? What do you recommend? She's never taken this exam before. What I recommend is you can do one of two things. Go over to our website. First of all, go to the site itself, and the practice with the practice test that they give at Johns Hopkins, because there's a practice test there. Then you can go onto our site. As long as you're a member, you have to join and become a member. I know many of you already are, so go to the SCAT, do the practice tests for advanced, and see how she does. And what you might want to do, just to help her feel more confident, is start with the intermediate tests and let her do those first, just to kind of feel like, okay, I can do this. The questions I can do these questions, and then have her do the harder ones. I would start with the easier, then the harder. The other thing she might want to do is take one of our small group classes, or if you wanted to do some tutoring, you could do that as well. And we can help get your child ready. And we certainly do a lot of that. This summer, we were doing so much SCAT test prep before June 30th, because a lot of people wanted to get in before June 30th. What other programs are available for pre-K 4-year-olds or kindergartners? I would have, the child's not old enough for Johns Hopkins, but I believe Northwestern has programs for very young kids. No, that's Duke, sorry. Yeah, this Northwestern has programs. And I would have to do a completely different webinar on what else is out there for younger kids. I mean, there are some programs. You might go on to the Davidson website for gifted children if you have a younger gifted child. Oh, I better go faster. Getting to the end of the webinar. Okay. do you recommend just applying for one program or trying all of them? What I recommend, to me, the best thing to do would be to try to take the SCAT test, because once your child does well on the SCAT test and qualifies for, let's say for Johns Hopkins, you can then just take that score and apply to the other programs and get in. So that's what I would do, because it's that would get you into all of them. You could take advantage of all the programming any of them have if you wanted to. For TIP, does the test score have to be within the past 2 years? Yes, I believe it does. For Duke, does the child need all the test scores in order to qualify, or just one of them? So let's say, in other words, you're saying let's say they take the SCAT test and they only qualify for math. Can they get into their math programs? I think they can, but I would call and verify that, okay, just to make sure. I believe they would be able to take their math courses and certain science, that sort of thing. But again, verify that. They're very nice. They answer your emails. I've sent them many emails. For the CIT program, would you be assigned an advisor to work with you on which courses your child should be taking? Which is the CIT program? Not sure which CIT program center. I'm not sure which program you're referring to here. There's, if you mean the super advanced program at Johns Hopkins, remember we talked about that at the beginning, that there's a program for advanced students. Where did I have that? Yeah, the SCT program, is that that may be what you're talking about? Those people get counselors, but you can certainly call them and talk to on any of these. You could call and talk and get some counseling about what to do. Does the merit test also, AZ merit test? I don't know. You would have to ask them if they would take that. What is the MAP test? MAP test is a test that many schools give to see where students are academically. They give it several times a year. And a PSAT is a practice SAT test. So it's very hard to take it right now anyway, because they're not doing in-person testing, but some schools may be giving it. It's possible. So if your child's at a school where they're giving it, you possibly could get it. Okay, I have 2 daughters, one in kindergarten, one in 2nd grade, preparing for New York City G&T. We scored 92, the older one, and 72, the younger one. The big one didn't get into the program, even though they got a 92. What do you advise us to do to upgrade our knowledge and scores? The little one is in pre-K. I would say practice, that's one thing. I mean, certainly for the New York City G&T test, we do have practice for that. New York City G&T right here, tons of questions. We also just created some flashcards for this test for NNAT and OLSAT that you can get online. Testing Mom flashcards at Amazon for NNAT and OLSAT. Look for those. We would be happy to do tutoring with your child, and we also do small classes for New York City G&T as well. How does the Davidson Institute compare with the programs you shared today? You know, the Davidson Institute is a very good program, but I don't know a lot about it. I haven't studied all the things they do. It is for gifted students. It's a good program, and you know, I would look at that and see what they accept and what programs they have. I am not sure about that program. Do I know the IQ thresholds for the WISC or WIPC for Johns Hopkins? So I believe it's 95th percentile. I believe that's what they're looking for. Again, in all cases, just double check. you know, if you're going to have your child tested, call them, make sure they will accept that particular test, ask them what the qualifying score is going to be. And, you know, we do have practice for the WIPSI and the WISC, so you could prepare, do a little bit of learning ahead of time. But check with them first on that. What are your suggestions for starting children to begin learning skills? Wow, that's a big question. So, and you guys were over, so I'm gonna stop in about 3 minutes because I know I'm not gonna be able to answer everybody's questions. And I apologize for that. We're just not gonna have time to do everybody's questions, but I will hold all of your questions and try to answer them next time I do a webinar on this. You know, if you have something pretty urgent, you can email us at help@testingmom.com and we'll try to help you with a question. And Testing Mom members, you can do that all the time and you know that. Okay. I would just say if you're trying to get them to start learning some of these skills, if you're especially, I hope you're all Testing Mom members. You know, for some of the skill building, here we have skill building for every age. You know, we have Brain Pop Junior. I always tell my parents of younger kids, you should be on Dreambox and you should be on Reading Kingdom for the really young kids. Those are the two most important skills, the math and the reading. Get started there. Then older kids can use all of these other programs, you know, to work on math, ELA, history. I mean, we've got learning for everything in this program, and it's free with your membership. So please take advantage of that. How different is the SCAT questions versus SSAT and IC questions? Well, they're similar in some ways. Those are all more academic types of questions, but they're presented a little bit differently. If they take the SCAT and they don't qualify, do they need to wait? No, they can retake the test. They can take it twice a year. Okay, yes. And it says Northwestern SCAT, it says the child has to have taken the SCAT in the last 2 years. Is this an enrollment requirement or do we need to take it every 2 years? No, you take it once, and once they qualify, they're in forever. And this person is asking if any of these tests that I mentioned help a child skip grades. If you're thinking about having your child skip a grade, there's a lot to consider for that. If you're a Testing Mom member and you ever want to talk about that, you can sign up and do a consult with me. I would be happy to talk to you about that. That's a very big question as to whether it's the right or wrong thing to do for a child. And I'm going to answer 2 more questions and then I apologize. I'm going to have to stop. So, okay, if a child gets into the kindergarten level, can they take both math and humanities for life, or do they have to take the test again? No, if they get in at the kindergarten level, they're in. So that's a great time to get them in. My child is gate tested through OLSAT, but I didn't see OLSAT listed under qualifying for Northwestern. OLSAT, I thought was, let's see, you're right. It's not a qualifying test for Northwestern, but it is for Duke. So you could use that to qualify for Duke. Someone's asking, how do we get this presentation? In about a day, not yet, but I'm gonna put this up on our website by tomorrow or the next day, it will be up. Go to testingmom.com/classes. It will be right on top under most recent classes online. So go there and you'll find it. And I apologize that I can't just answer everybody's questions, but I'm already 8 minutes late. And I just want to say to all of you, you know, if you're not a Testing Mom member, please join. I hope you will. And once you join, there's so much value in our membership. And beyond that, you know, if you are interested in the SCAT test, please put your information into the chat box and let Ivan know so he can reach out to you, and we'll see what times are more convenient for you and your family. We will be doing small group classes for SCAT very soon, so your child could either participate in a small group class, or we do one-to-one tutoring all the time, and that's something we tutor for this test constantly. We have so many members that are in the Johns Hopkins program and they've gotten there through the SCAT test, and then they get into the other programs as well. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this talk, I mean, this program is for kids who are very motivated. And if you have a bright, motivated child who might benefit, it's definitely something I recommend you consider. It's just, these are fabulous programs. And I'd love to see your kids able to take advantage of all that they have to offer. So thank you so much for being here tonight, and we'll do, watch out for our more upcoming presentations. We're going to be doing more. For the parent who asked about MAP testing, I think in 2 weeks I'm going to do something about MAP testing. And also last thing, for those of you who have kids who are good spellers, we're going to be doing a speed spelling bee next week. So if you haven't already signed up for that and you want more information, just write to us at help@testingmom.com, ask about our speed spelling bee. It was a huge hit last time. I mean, we were all on the edge of our seats. The kids were amazing. And your child might want to participate. So we'd love to have you in our speed spelling bee. We have some younger kids and older kids. So thanks for being here, and good night, everybody. Bye-bye.